G'day legends, welcome back. This past couple of months I've been putting in a lot of work for my clients trying to find them long-term rentals in Medellin. As a lot of you guys know, Airbnb is not the way to go. They're going to charge you 50% more, 100% more. It's a huge ripoff. In this search, let me tell you, I found out some very important lessons about the real estate market in Medellin, and today I'm going to share with you 9 very important lessons that I learned that I think you should know as well. These ones are not in any order of importance, but I think they all have great value, so you're going to want to stick around and hear them all. Let's get into number 1. If you show up and you contact a local real estate agent and you say, hey, I want an apartment in 2 months or 3 months, they're not even going to pay you attention. They don't care. They want to fill the apartment immediately. They only want to talk to people who are immediately ready to move in. If you're ready to move in within the next 20 days or less, then it's time to start talking to someone. If you want to move in a month or 2 months or 3 months, go ahead and try, but be prepared that people might just not respond or they might be very unhelpful. So with that said, I should just explain that all of these tips I've learned from using vetted real estate agent companies that we have in our Rent Like a Local guide. So I'm not going to include things like scams and whatever because I haven't been privy to those because we don't associate with scam companies. So number 2 on the list is if you message WhatsApp numbers, don't expect a large percentage of them to respond. It's not like other countries where everybody's keen for your business. It's actually quite the opposite. Sometimes you might have to work harder than them to actually put yourself in an apartment and pay them money. So expect this. This is part of the culture. You might have to follow up 2, 3, 4 times with a WhatsApp message just to get someone to respond to you. And number 3 on the list is one of the most frustrating. Even if you get someone to respond to you, a lot of the time the options they send you might have nothing to do with what you even asked for. Yes, this happens all the time. Get ready for frustration. You could ask them for a 1-bedroom in Laureles for $700 a month maximum, and they'll send you 5-bedroom mansion in Poblado for $10,000 a month and say, hey, how about this? It's like they don't even read what you're asking for, or they don't even care. Once again, it's on you to keep messaging them and say, hey mate, what the fuck is this? Send me something I actually asked for. Okay, number 4 on the list is something that I have a big issue with, and this is kind of a big clickbait, I guess, Unethical Marketing. One of the websites that I've seen recently, and I'm sure it happens on many more websites, they have these amazing deals. You go on and you go, oh my God, wow, that place is so cheap. I can't believe why it's such an amazing place for so cheap. And then you message them and they go, oh, sorry, yeah, those places are all taken. And you go, what? All like 20 of them? And they're like, yeah, they just got filled, but we have these other ones. And then they'll offer you places which are more expensive and worse than the ones you saw. So it's just kind of a way to get you in the door so they can sell you other stuff. I'm not even sure that they even had the original places for rent, or they just use it for clickbait. So watch out for that. If anyone does that to you, just move on to the next one. They're not worth doing business with. And the next 2 things are things that you might want to reconsider when setting your requirements for what you want in an apartment here in Medellin. The apartments are not made like the US or Australia or whatever. There's some things that are culturally not expected here. So air conditioning being the first one. It's very, very rare that you will find air conditioning in Medellin. And if you find it, you're gonna have to pay a high price for those apartments because they're rare. A workaround for this is that you can buy portable air conditioning units. They're like little ones, they just sit next to your bed and they can cool the room. Because yeah, the apartments here are not set up for air conditioning. It's probably because the city, until now, when it's kind of hot, for many years, it never really got hot enough to warrant the excessive cost of running air conditioning, especially for locals. The next thing too, probably because it's hot, is there's no dryers here. People just dry stuff on their balcony or outside. So you see a lot of apartments with washers, but you'll hardly see a place with a dryer. And now you know why. The next one, and number 7 on the list, is quite funny actually, and anyone who's done any type of searching in Medellin for an apartment would have come across this term before, clicked on it and be like, what the hell is this? And that is the term penthouse. They just throw around the word penthouse here willy-nilly for every kind of apartment that you find, and it's not a penthouse. It's not what you're expecting from a penthouse. Bear that in mind. If someone tells you, hey, I have a penthouse, you might be going to a place that's on the first level, not penthouse at all. But for some reason, I don't know if it's good for SEO or it's catchy or it gets people through the door, they just call everything a penthouse. Number 8 on the list, guys, is gonna affect us foreigners directly because it can be difficult to rent long-term without Colombian credit. No one's going to have Colombian credit because we don't live here. Building up Colombian credit takes years. It's like something that you do in the US as well. I know for you US people how hard it is. I've seen all the ads, credit this, credit that, blah, 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 increase your credit. So it's a hard thing to build, and same story here. Many places won't even rent to a foreigner without a co-signer. So a Colombian that you know can actually vouch for you and sign under your signature and say, yep, I guarantee that this guy is going to be paying the rent every month. So there's a select few real estate agencies that will rent to a foreigner with just a passport. You don't need a co-signer or anything like that. So for more information on that, visit the link in the description. We actually have a guide we've put together for you guys that actually has 20 of these real estate agencies that require nothing more than a passport from a foreigner to rent long term. And the last one on this list, guys, but definitely not the least important, is that the best deals that I've seen start at about 6 months. So before that, 3 months, 4 months, you might save a little bit, but not that much. You're still gonna save more than Airbnb, but the best deals come when you rent 6 months or even 12 months. Then you can really negotiate the price and tell them, hey, I'm gonna pay maybe 3 months or 6 months of deposit in advance if you lower the monthly rate. That's basically all the lessons I learned about renting in Colombia. If you have anything else that you've learned or any questions you want answered, leave them in the comments. And watch this video too, because we talk a lot more about renting in Colombia, how you can avoid gringo prices and how you can avoid scams too.